What's up everybody, Jeremiah here, and we are back with another unboxing. This time we are taking a look at Revenge Studio Frieza, and I cannot wait to unbox this. I hope you guys are ready, because I'm ready. Let's go! Alright, so right off the bat, we're taking a look at the brown box. Now, there's nothing super special about the brown box. You just have your basic brown box, but I thought that this was super interesting because I did have it opened a little bit, and when I looked inside, it's actually a box within a box. That's super interesting. I've never seen this happen before. Now, I am new to resin collections, but I have never seen a box within a box, and it looks like they even put some extra care into adding these little styrofoam corner covers. So I think that's pretty cool how they really went the extra mile there. Let's go ahead and open this up. Okay, so once we got the box outside of that other box, we have another brown box. This one's interesting because it has the logo. Not all brown boxes have that, so I like how they have the character and the release that you're getting. It just looks like standard stuff here on the side. Oh, this is interesting. On the side, it tells you which number you actually got. So it looks like I got number 11. It also has, I assume this is the weight, so 12 kilos, and dimensions. That's pretty cool. So, now again, I don't know if that's really the format that Revenge Studio takes, if they do ship this box inside another box, or maybe that was the retailer, Great Cai Toys, who I buy from here in the Philippines, that did that. But either way, I like how they went and went ahead and packaged all of that together for us. So let me go ahead and get this open in 3, 2, 1. Whoa, that is cool. Look at the art box. Now, you've got the super nice, looks like 2D art on the front with the logo, Revenge Studio, Evil Emperor of the Universe, and it gives you all the details here, DBZ 1/4 LED system, etc. Now, on to the side. It looks like it shows you the base that he's going to be sitting on. I really like this. This is pretty cool. Even the details in the background. Another planet there in the back. Clouds. And just more of details that you can expect to see. We got the planet here on the side. And this is what we got. Obviously, if you're tuning in, you probably know what the statue looks like. But it's nice to sort of see them photograph that there with a quote here. Very cool. What else we got? And the planet on the other side. Okay, so let's go ahead and open this up. Now, I actually thought that after having 2 brown boxes, maybe the second brown box was going to be all we got, and then we'd get to unboxing the figure, and I thought that maybe this didn't have an art box, but it does in fact have an art box, so that's pretty cool. So you get the art box, a brown box, and an extra brown box just for security purposes. Okay, so let's go ahead and unlatch this thing and see what we got inside. And here we go. You got your standard STYRO with a little bit of the Revenge logo there, number 11. I guess that's telling you, for anybody who's packing it, to make sure that the number statue matches correctly with what I got. Okay, so let's go ahead and unstrap this. I wonder if I can do this with one hand. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and unstrap and see what we got on the inside. Okay, so I am so used to, just with some of the other packagings that I've gotten, I've been able to really just take out the STYRO and the parts from within the box. And so I tried to undo the strap, and I ended up, unfortunately, I don't know if you guys can see this, but now there's a bit of a rip in the side of the box. I mean, I can always just glue that together, but I guess the step one that you want to do is not do what I did, which is try to take the straps and just undo it while it's in the box. Otherwise, you know, your fingertips go everywhere and you end up expanding it when it doesn't need to be expanded. So what you need to do is probably pull this out first and then proceed to the unboxing. So I've only had to do that for a couple times in a couple unboxings before. Usually I've been able to do it right in the box. And if I haven't been able to do it right in the box, it's very clear that there's no other option but to take out the entire STYRO. So I tried to see if that was something I could do here. Obviously not. So if you do get the statue, make sure you don't damage the box if you are, you know, picky about your art box. make sure you take the styro all the way out and then proceed to unstrap. So just a side note, let's move on. Okay, so it looks like pulling out the styro out of the box was a good call to do first. It would make it a lot easier to get these straps off, and let's go ahead and lift this. Okay, it looks like it's the first layer here, and see what we got. Oh, okay, still hiding. All right, I'm gonna assume that this is the top, I hope. Let's see. You can see the aura right over here. Let's go ahead and pull this out carefully. And there we go. It looks like, now this is super interesting because the way it's packaged together is, and I was able to do that successfully with the trunks figure over there, but the way it's packaged together is, it has the styro basically covering up the pieces. I mean, it looks like this is a cutout, right, of Frieza. Let's see what that is. So let's go ahead and pull this out. It's probably the body. Yes, it is. Oh, that's cool. Okay, interesting. And what else is in here? Okay, so you got your digits. I assume that there's 2 layers to this, so let's go ahead and see if I can lift this up first and get to the base layer, which is probably going to be the heaviest part of this piece. Oh, wow. Check this out. Look, okay, so this aura that we got here is actually one piece. I don't know if it's detachable, but it looks like it's already embedded into the base, which is super interesting. So once you open this up, do not try to pull out that aura. Go ahead and try to pull the whole thing out first, because it looks like they've gone ahead and saved you the trouble of having to, you know, attach it to the base. So we'll find out later if this is permanently attached or if it's just, you know, slotted on there. But I thought that was super interesting. Let's go ahead and take this out, put it on there, and see what it looks like all together. Okay, so we got the base out, and it looks really cool. Check this out. You've got metal legs. It's interesting because you've got this whole base, and it's just standing, right, on these metal legs. So that's pretty cool. We'll go into more details later, but this is the aura, purple aura. It doesn't look like there's any damage to it. It just looks like I just need to clean it off a little bit. And it looks like Frieza's gonna attach here with what looks to be a peg, maybe a magnet. So far it just looks like a peg. This might be a magnet, not sure. That might be it. Oh, okay. So, but just off the bat, that looks really, really cool. And very easy to lift out. Just gotta make sure they really package it super well. All the packaging is right here. They've even inserted some extra styro so that, you know, it's not gonna get damaged in the shipping process. And also, as you can see, it looks like Frieza's hand is over here, and also his tail. Now, when you first unbox this, you're not going to really notice that because a lot of this is covered up with extra styrofoam, but I assume the next step here is going to be just to put his body on the stand and add his tail and arm. And I think we should be good to go. All right, everybody, a bit of a fast forward, and we are done. Check it out. Yeah, it looks really good. I will say that this has probably been the fastest, maybe if not also the easiest setup I've ever done. I mean, I've set up a couple other statues, and I don't have that much of a history in statue collecting to really say. Maybe there is another statue out there, but that's super easy. But for this one, at least, I mean, all you really have is the base. The aura already comes attached, and then you just got to put the figure on his hand and his tail, and that's it. So I think with that said, fairly, I give it, you know, if it's 5 out of 5 in terms of setup, definitely up there. But let's go ahead and dive deep into what we got with the statue. Okay, so let's jump into the figure just a little bit here. Wow, look at that. The sculpt is really, really nice. The lines on his eyes, you've got shading all across his body. And you know what, before we even jump in, let's go ahead and do a quick measuring. I went ahead and got this ready. But if you're gonna stand him up from bottom to the top, he sits at around just at 23. You might even call it a bit extra. I feel like it's right at 23. Anyway, 23 inches, and then maybe from his feet, I'm gonna try and do this carefully. I'm gonna say around 18, something like that. But there you have it. He's not small by any means. He's a good size. He's pretty comparable to some of your other, you know, 1/4 scale statues, if you have any. So let's jump in a bit more. This is the aura. Now, the base itself has a lot of shading. Check it out. All the way from the side, even here with the scuff marks. Looks like it's, I guess it's supposed to be the inside of the ship. I don't know. And even here, shading on the legs. That's really cool. Obviously, like, this stuff is not necessary, right? But, I mean, not necessary in terms of painting it this way, but I love how they put the detail into that. Let's even take a look at the rivets. Let me see if I can get a good shot of the rivets here. There you go. It's got like this super gold, tingy metal look to it, which I think emulates the piece very well, and it goes all the way around. Now, his body is basically 3 pieces. You've got this. Let me see if I can take off the hand carefully. Okay, I'm not gonna try and do this with one hand, never mind. But the hand does adjust. You can take it off. It comes separate. And then what's cool here is, I don't know if you can see, but because the aura is see-through, you can actually see the peg line up inside. So I don't know, for some people that might be an issue in terms of like how you want it to be presented. For me, I actually kind of like it because it lets me know one of my biggest like challenges sometimes is figuring out if I've actually put the peg in the pieces correctly. And at least here I know that, yes, I can see it, it's in there correctly. So he latches in that way. And then the tail hooks here on the back. Now what's super interesting is the tail right now, as it is, it sits in this little groove. Now I wasn't sure if it's supposed to do that or if it's supposed to just kind of float above it. And I don't even know if that's gonna cause like, you know, paint chips or, you know, rubs against the paint in the future, who knows? But as it is sits right now, it is currently sitting on the aura there, which I guess to some extent, because the tail is not, you know, light by any means, right? So it's a bit heavy, so maybe the aura adds a little bit extra support, and maybe it's supposed to really sit flush that way. But if anyone else has this piece and notices that it does sit for you guys as well, or if it's supposed to float, let me know in the comments. But for right now, I have it basically sitting on the aura because that's how it seems to fit. Looking at his shoulders over here, you got a couple, I like the tinge. I say tinge a lot in some of the other videos, but I like how it's got this dark purple tinge and then the way it transitions into this light purple. His body has a bit, let's check out the grooves here, right? It's not just like this sort of whitish, it's almost like a bluish, grayish tinge in the areas of where his muscle sculpt is. And that's really cool. Let's look at his face close up here. Very cool face. Lines are okay on the face as well. And this is the ball. I guess I'm gonna assume this lights up, so we'll see if that does that later. But tail is massive, pretty big. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Now, that's the good stuff, right? As I was putting this together, I did notice there were a couple things, like I guess in terms of QC, that could be improved. Now, this isn't, you know, I'm sure that there have been people watching this that are super fans of this piece or that believe in the studio. Again, this is actually my first time buying from Revenge Studio, but I think it's also fair to kind of be honest with what we see. And again, it's not a big deal to me, and maybe this could be a point of improvement for the company moving forward. But I did notice a couple hiccups in the way this piece is put together. So let's go ahead and see what those issues are. Okay, so the first thing I noticed right away is on the aura, you've got like this white sort of residue. I thought that it would come off easily. It doesn't seem to. So maybe what you need to do, let's see if I can zoom in a bit there, see that? I think that's probably residue from the STYRO or the way it's packed, maybe the heat during transportation, but this is the first time I've encountered something like this with all of my unboxing. So I don't think that's a permanent, you know, issue. I could probably clean it off later, but I tried to take it off after already installing the piece, and that made it difficult. So I'm gonna have to probably take this off first, clean that up a little bit, but just know that you may have to kind of, I don't know, maybe water or tissue paper or something to kind of get some of that stuff off so you can display it properly. That's number one. Number two, okay, now I have a bunch of aura pieces. Like I have that aura, there's water there, there's aura there, that's last sleep, right? Aura everywhere. This aura is probably the most murky in terms of like, it's not super clear. So I don't know if it's a quality issue, but it does feel a bit blurry. Like it's not, it doesn't give you the same sort of clarity like some of these other pieces do. But again, if you're really just after the overall look, I don't think that's gonna be that big a deal, but something to take note that the aura does have a bit of a blurriness to it. And now, with the piece itself, I have no other complaints except for one in terms of paint app, or at least I'm gonna say quality control, right? Now, this is it right here. If you see here, you look here, I don't know what that is. If that's supposed to be glue or something that really put, you know, the aura together, but it doesn't look like a smooth application. Like that looks like dirt and other stuff. So this is really strange for me to see inside a piece. You know, and I guess for those of you guys who are super picky about this stuff, and you know, I'm not blaming you, you ought to be, especially with something that is a high quality collectible. You probably want to make sure that that is, that you're getting the quality production piece. Now, it doesn't look like the quality issue here extends to the rest of the base. If we take a look, I mean, everything else looks pretty snazzy in terms of, you know, just, I think the details are still there, but you do have the hiccup on the other side. This is not a hiccup. I think that's really just the paint. But it's this part right here. Yeah, I think that's the only part. But other than that, still a really good, I mean, look, that's a minor area of the piece. You're really looking at the overall look, which I think is money. Now, in my case, I live in the Philippines, so I have access to a lot of, you know, freelance artists, sculptors, right? And so repairing statues, you know, whether it's by paint or, you know, adjusting certain pieces, isn't that difficult to do because we have so many talented artists here in my country. Now, if you're from the US or you're in a part of the world where you guys don't have access to, you know, people who can easily customize something for your piece, maybe repairs, paint, etc., then it might be a concern. So I would take that into consideration. I don't have any experience with Revenge Studios customer service, but maybe that's something they can help you out with when it comes to a piece like this. But also keep in mind that this is not the most expensive piece when it comes to, you know, a whole line of other 1/4 statues, right? Actually, one of the biggest reasons why I got this piece was because to me, it felt like a steal. I mean, after coming from pieces like, you know, KDC, Last Sleep, obviously, you know, you're paying for quality when it comes to that stuff, and you expect everything from a QC perspective to be super dope and super legit and super smooth. Now with this put me around 29,500 Philippine pesos, which translated in US is around 528 US dollars, give or take, right? So again, obviously that's already shipped and you know, arrived to my house. So you do save a lot, and maybe that is one of the things you guys have to consider when you are buying a cheaper piece. Still value, however, there are gonna be a couple of hiccups, and maybe we just need to be okay with that, or maybe this is something you might take up with the studio if you do encounter something like this. But just a heads up. Now, the one cool thing about this piece is it does have, you know, this is your COA basically, which is super cool. It's like this gold metal plated thingamathing, and it comes with this acrylic stand to set it up, and it doesn't look like they really made that many. 11 out of 111 is what I got. That's a cool number actually. But do know that we are getting a very limited piece with something like this. So I think that is enough of sort of the outline of the piece. I really like it, outside of the couple issues that it does come with. But other than that, overall, just the presence. I mean, it looks like he's floating, right? And the thing is, I'm not even a fan of museum style pieces. If you notice, a lot of the stuff I have, at least so far, have been collected, has been these sort of dynamic in action type of poses like what we have here with KDC. Also the last Leap Gogeta. I think the only other sort of, you know, museum style pose I have is this Trunks here in the back. There he is over there, if you can see, right? And that's just because, you know, you don't get a lot of resin characters like Super Saiyan God Xeno Trunks. So that to me was a bit niche, and I thought, you know what, okay, he's in a museum style pose, but it looks really cool. But when I saw this one, I thought to myself, like, wow, I really like the pose. Even if it's a museum pose, it has a lot of presence, it commands it. He's floating, the base is really thoughtful, you know, and and also I'm a big fan of aura. I don't know if you can tell, but I've got a lot of aura going on. I like it. It's purpley, which kind of matches the mood, and it also lights up. So I cannot wait to try this out. It does come with this charger. Very interesting because it's a bit, I want to say old school, because I get like a bunch of different type of charger units. So sometimes I get the charger cables that are just USB like this, and then you basically have to find your own USB adapter. This one has a DC volt type charger, okay? And what's interesting is, this is the first time I've seen it. Usually people put the switches on the base. This one is actually included on the wire, so you'll be able to control the switch with this. Let's go ahead and plug this up and see what it looks like. All right, moment of truth. So I've got it plugged up to the DC, and it is hooked on back here. I will comment that the cable is not that long, so if you're gonna set this up with lights and you wanna have ease of access, you do wanna make sure that whatever power source you have, it is near your statue. So let's go ahead, hit the switch. This is my first time doing this, and let's see what we get. Ooh, that is cool. Look at that. So the light definitely comes from the base. It lights up the whole aura. Am I getting light here? It looks like it. Maybe it'll be a bit clearer if we go ahead and do this with the lights off. So 1, 2, and that is it. It's super duper cool. I also like how, with the way this is set up, you know, you get this sort of nice glow right under him. And look at this, the lights on the ship. Oh, that's cool. Look at that detail. The lights on the ship light up. So all the way through the back. And I just think that in itself is super nice when it comes to lighting it. Now, it doesn't look like there's any light coming from here. So maybe I have to set it up in a certain way, but it doesn't look like it comes lit up right off the bat. I'll have to look at some instructions, or maybe there are other reviews out there that show us that it does light up. But if not, that's okay. It might even be a separate battery. I know like sometimes there's a battery in it and then you can light it up separately that way. Okay, so I went ahead and attached the arm here just to, you know, confirm my suspicions. And it does look like, I mean, it looks like that's where it would go. There's a bit of wiring. So it looks like a battery would go there. I actually don't know what size battery. I'll have to check online because it doesn't come with instructions to tell you what battery you can do. So maybe that's a point of improvement also in the future for future releases that the studio can do, is kind of tell you, let you know that yes, you will probably need a battery if that is the case. Otherwise, if this doesn't light up, then I'm just talking about nothing, right? But it's nice. It does have a magnet there, so it is easy to attach. You just have to be careful when you pull it off. So, all right, so about the light on the hand, I did take a quick break and got a set of batteries. These are the 3-volt batteries, which I think is what you're gonna use for this. We'll go ahead and hook this up and see how this lights up. All right, let's go ahead and take out the hand here and see what the slot on this looks like. It looks like this on the inside, so I wonder how this is gonna go. All right, it's a little hard to see, but there is a plus sign, and that tells me which side the battery should face up. So we'll go ahead and do that. All right, it looks like it might need 2 of them because it looks like there's space. So let me see if I can add another one here, because the pack that I did get did come with 2. So let's see what that does. Oh, okay. Actually, look at this. Just by putting the batteries in, oh, there. See that flicker? It already lights up. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there you go. So 1 battery is enough to light it up, but it won't sit in place. You'd have to put something else on it. So see how it kind of flickers? If you add the second battery underneath of it, looks like it gets brighter. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But, I mean, is that the way it's supposed to sit? I don't know. So I guess I kind of just take this and sandwich the lights. If somebody knows how to do this better than what I'm doing it, better than how I'm doing it, please let me know. Okay, there. So you really have to, it snaps in place. That's how you know it's really stuck in there. So 2 batteries is what it takes, 3 volts, for you to get this light. So let's go ahead and attach this. Oops, oops, oops. It's going to the magnet. There. Cool. Okay, so here's a second look at the light fixtures, this time with not just the base, but we also have the ball on the hand now lit up using the 3-volt batteries that we used. And it looks like it's got a pretty nice glow to it. Let's go ahead and switch the lights off and see what we got. Hey, that looks even better. Look at that. Look. So first of all, you know, it's not very common to get a statue that has the aura and also lights up the face, because usually, you know, the base of the aura, or at least where the LEDs are, is just enough to light the bottom half. I love how this one just gives it like this menacing look, where it lights up his face. So that I thought was very smart, because you do have the light shining right on him. Look at that. That is super cool. Now, the only thing I would say is, obviously, this is battery charged. So, you know, if you don't want it to light, you technically have to undo the hand, take out the batteries. I mean, I think, let me see if it works by pulling the switch. So I'll turn off the base. I wonder if that'll turn off the hand too. Nope. So the hand is definitely separate. Right? See that? So the hand lights on its own because of the battery. It has nothing, there's no cross section with the light switch whatsoever, which is okay. But just so you know, you want that ball to light up, you're gonna have to take that hand out and put the battery inside. But hey, we've got a really nice effect. Love it. Woo! Okay, now overall, I guess the question that you might be asking is, do I recommend this piece? And the answer to that is, it depends. 2 areas. I'm gonna say quality and value as one area, and maybe museum style poses as another, right? So number 1, from a quality and value perspective, yes, this is gonna be cheaper for you, I think, than most of the other pieces out there. It's also a limited run, and it's also a nice sort of, you know, individual, unique take on the character and the way this concept kind of plays out. But you do need to know that with the quality, obviously the art box was nice. The styrofoam, not as, I'm gonna say, high quality, or it's just not the material that I'm used to seeing with some other pieces like from Last Leap or KDC. It's a different type of styrofoam, but it is packed well, which does lead to the area of, you know, well, I'll be honest, the packaging doesn't really matter to me as long as the figure comes in safely with no damages or etc. And I will say that this did not come with damages. It just came with those QC issues that I mentioned. Now, I was thinking about, while I was filming this, if I was going to, you know, reach out to Great Cai Toys. You guys are, again, Great Cai Toys, shout out to you guys. I always love your support. And I was wondering if maybe I should try and switch this out, but, you know, then I have to bring the piece back and then get a whole nother thing. And to be honest, I kind of like the number, 11 out of 11. I know it's a super crazy thing, right, to think about. But, you know, the QC here issue doesn't really bother me as much. If it's not too much of a hassle, maybe I would do it and consider in the future if there are extra pieces available. But for right now, I think I'm fine with the way it is. Again, you may not be, so just keep that in mind. When I say I recommend this, you do need to assume that there may or may not be issues. Hopefully yours does not have any, but that's just what I experienced. And number 2, from the museum style pose perspective, like, I think it depends on what you guys are collecting. I super love dynamic poses, and I probably wouldn't even go for a museum pose, which says a lot. Also, what says a lot is I actually have Tsume Frieza, okay, already on pre-order. So I've seen that piece. I love that huge giant ball, right, that he's got going on. But this one, and I promise, like I already decided that I was just gonna stick to one Frieza piece. And then I saw this and I said, wow, for the price and the pose and the concept, I'm gonna go ahead and get this one. So I will now be the owner of 2 Frieza pieces when Tsume comes in, but I just thought that the pose, the idea, the concept was too good to pass up. And once you have the concept, once you have the good sculpt, everything else, I think, even LEDs or even like little chips and paint or whatever, can be worked out if you have the access to it in your area. So keep that in mind if you guys are gonna go for a piece like this. I hope that helps. And with that said, I think that'll do it for this video. Again, just to wrap it up, a super, super nice, easy setup, very smooth, very nice concept. I like the design, I like the LEDs, I love the base. The fact that it sits on its metal legs is a plus. Oh, one more thing, I just remembered. So I said I had the Tsume Frieza already on pre-order. The reason I also jumped on this one is because I actually saw Prime 1 Studios, their version of the Frieza statue, also 1/4 scale. And I think that one was also sitting on a ship as well. I'll maybe flash a picture up here, but it definitely looks nice. And I know that Prime 1 is known for their quality, but the price was just, oh my goodness, it's up there. To me, it almost felt like you could buy a life-size statue or like this huge giant bust if you wanted for the amount that they were asking. For us, it was around 110,000 US pesos, 110,000 Philippine pesos, which I think translates to 1,970 US dollars. That's almost 2,000 bucks. So, I mean, from something like this, which is in like the sort of $500 range to something that's almost 2,000, I mean, I think, at least for myself, I'm okay with the little, hiccups in some cases because they're easy to fix, and I don't know, that's just a big amount. But for some people, they love the brand, they love what, Prime 1 does. So if that was you, hey man, go for it. I also will eventually probably buy myself a couple Prime 1 pieces, maybe not in DBZ, but in other lines. But, for this one, I just thought it had what I was looking for. It's got Frieza, it's got the base, it's got the aura. So super cool. I do think this is a really nice alternative to the Prime 1 in case you don't want to go down that route. But since I don't own the Prime 1 piece, I think you should keep that in mind and still just stick to your guts. Collect what you guys want and make the decision that I think works best for your collection. With that said, guys, thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you for checking out the super raw unboxing. I super enjoyed this. I hope you guys do too. And I hope this gives you a good look at what you're getting when you get the Revenge Studio Frieza. Again, it is limited in quantity, so if you have the opportunity to grab it and you like what you saw, by all means, go for it. So we'll wrap up the video with a couple close-ups at the end. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Peace!
Feeling so tall, I could give a high five to the pilot. Yeah, family tight, I keep small circle like island. Whoa, inbox full of contracts, I signed with a stylist. Yeah, blue faces blowing up like violet. Talk about the things they're gonna say when they see me, and when they see me, they just dap me up and say good to meet me. I keep it going, flowing over this and make it look easy. Easy for me to say I do this every day of the week. I'm eager to be the one they talk about when all said and done with it. I'm the feature that they want, but then they don't when I come with it. I'm a scene, still a seat, filler, blow up the numbers, and I ain't leaving no crumbs, so you know when I'm done with it. I'm a new school vibe with an old soul, oh so great. Stay paid by the boatload, don't go chasing a wave from a rowboat. Blow smoke right through the face of the ozone. Oh no, I got the bag, I'm back to just double it. I'm about to pop the top, I've been bubbling. They want the spot, but I do not cut them in. They tryna plot my drop, they been huddling. Feeling so tall, I could give a high five to the pilot. Yeah, family tight, I keep small circle like island. Whoa, inbox full of contracts, I signed with a stylist. Yeah, blue faces blowing up like violet.
I know a lot of people praying for my downfall, but the only thing that I'll be down for is being top 5, but like down 4. I'm down to earth like the ground floor, but I've been flying so long, I tend to ask people, what's the ground for? Man, I'm only headed up, see my flow volcanic, it's the fire I erupt. Heard the fans getting rowdy cause they haven't had enough. You know I'm running the city, you just running out of luck. Yeah, I said that with my chest, I flow hard, it's no wonder they easily impressed. I'm so far, but I'm always coming back with something fresh. I never rest, where you'll never catch this ego in a nest. I invest my time in a booth, I find a piece. I used to piece the boom in my mind. My ex knows this, let me expose this. She left cause she don't wanna be with an explosive. Man, I'm just
feeling so tall, I could give a high five to the pilot. Yeah, family tight, I keep small circle like island. Whoa, inbox Inbox full of contracts I signed with a stylist. Yeah, blue faces blowing up like violet.